opinion. But as we said, we're on YouTube. You can subscribe. You can watch this video on YouTube. Please press the notification button to receive notification for our new videos that drop. We are also on another platform. You can listen to the audio platform. You can listen to the audio version of this podcast on Anchor, Spotify. You can also like us on our socials, X, Instagram, and please help us to grow this channel. So we segue into Manchester United. You know, Akin threw a shade at Manchester United earlier, calling them the lesser team. But Martins, you're the Manchester United fan on this panel. So, quick one. Sancho hoping Eric Ten Hag gets sacked. Where is that coming from? And also Maguire declaring warning on Manchester United, saying, I'm not going to play once in a month. He said his win rate has been fantastic. That each game he has played, he has won. So I deserve a start. All this pressure piling on Eric Ten Hag. Are these players biting more they can chew?
Yeah. Thank you. So the thing is, let me start with Sancho. I think the likes of Sancho can say what he said because of the fact that standards have dropped at Manchester United. Sancho would not say this if he was a footballer at the highest level in 2005, 2006, or say 2008. He would not say this in the public space. You understand? He probably will get a boot on his head. I mean, we all know who was in charge at Man United at that point in time. But this is not even about who was in charge at Man United. It's about professionalism here. I don't know how true those things are, those reports are, you understand? If Sancho, as a professional footballer who is on about £350,000 per week, actually is hoping for the manager to falter so that he can get his place back in the team, it speaks volumes about where we are in modern day football. You understand, especially in the last decade. This is a player who we signed for about, I think, £76 million, who has not really.
Not modern day football, please. Not modern day football. Manchester
United.
It's not modern day. It's in Manchester United. It cannot happen in too many other places.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. You understand? If we have, and I think this is the fault of this is as a result of the fact that there are no football people at the highest level at Man United running the club. Prior to having the likes of Richard Arnold or John Motto right now, we had Ed Woodward, who is an investment banker, you understand? Who was an investment banker before his appointment. He was with JP Morgan, you understand? He's not a football person. The Glazers brought him because he's a commercial guy. He makes the money. He makes a lot of money for those guys. And that is what they are all about. They are American capitalists, you understand? And they are making money. He is good at making the money. But as a football fan, millions of miles away from England, here in Lagos, Nigeria, I don't know what's going on in the financial part of the football. I care about what's going on the pitch, you understand? And these guys don't care, you understand? That is why they give these guys, the likes of Sancho, 350. Sancho, I mean, no disrespect to him, but he doesn't even worth £150,000 per week, considering where he's coming from and whatever he did was earning at Dortmund. You understand? But they brought him from German football at Dortmund after maybe two seasons of supposedly fantastic football and give him £350,000. You understand? He's at the top of the world. He feels he can see all sort of nonsense. How can you, as a professional footballer, earning that kind of amount per week, sit down in your corner and expect that the manager should be grinding out bad results every week so that he can be sacked and then you get into the team back? This manager we are talking about gave you about 2 or 3 months off the first thing to get your shit together. Sorry for using that word. Apologies.
It's allowed. You understand? This is not a program for under 18. This is from 18 years above, so it's allowed.
Exactly. So he gave you time to sort your crap. I remember sitting down in a viewing center, and somebody said, "Can I give Sancho time to go to Orioke to go and pray, to go and sort his problem?" He was supposedly having mental issues, personal issues. This guy gave you time off the team to go and sort yourself. You came into the team, you still couldn't prove yourself worthy of a place. This guy was trying to, push you into the team one way or another. You were not justifying your place in the team. And just once, it came out to publicly pull you to see if that will work. And then the next thing you did was to go to the social media and make a statement against the manager. We live in times at Manchester United because Chimamaka wants me to lay emphasis on Manchester United where the players can go to social media and call out the manager. It doesn't work for me. I'm a traditional guy. It's trash. It cannot work. It doesn't work. You can't do that. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to an Arteta. I hate saying this as a Man United fan, but it is the truth. You can't do that to an Arteta. We saw what happened with Aubameyang. You can't disrespect the manager and stay in the team. So I stand with Erik ten Hag. I stand with Erik ten Hag with that decision to push him out of the team, face him out of the team, and focus on the club because a precedent has to be set. If you let him get away with that, another player will come up and do something like that. Others will see it as okay. I think that is the most
especially the young players
get away with it.
Or the younger players.
Yep. Young players, exactly. The young players. You understand? And I see Sancho going the route of Lingard and Paul Pogba. He's from South London. No disrespect to the South Londoners. I think they have this culture of not being.
That's where Chelsea is from, right?
Now you know.
I can stop with this shot you're throwing, man. Easy, man. Easy. Chimamaka will take the highway on that.
So they have this culture of always eventually misbehaving. I think that's the same thing with this guy, Ravel Morrison, from Man United Academy, Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard. Where, they are talented players, but because of their lack of discipline, they always end up messing it up with their attitude. That's about Sancho. Now, Maguire. I don't blame Maguire. I don't blame him. You understand? I blame the system at Man United. Like I said, there are no proper footballing people. But if you look at what he said, objectively, he has a point. It's the win ratio. Most of the games he has started, compared to the number of games we've lost, he actually has a good win ratio. But I don't blame him. I blame the guys at Man United. This is a guy who has consistently dropped stinkers. Top of my head, I can give you 10 games, different scenarios, where Maguire has cost Man United points and qualifications. And then he has the guts. I don't blame him. I blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for giving him the captaincy band less than 6 months joining the club. It was a very big error, a very wrong move to make. You understand?
Yes, much pain in your voice.
It was a very wrong move to make. I did this, but make I just calm myself. Maguire get mind. He's going to the media to say all sorts of nonsense. I don't believe him, honestly. I actually don't know what to say. This case, you could have an entire podcast on his case. And we'll talk for 2 hours as per how trashy he has been over the years. But he has his point.
Can I say something?
Yeah. But I'm just round. I'll round up now, Aki. Don't worry. I'll round up. You understand? So, if he says he wants to leave in January, it's not a problem, honestly. We've had injuries. Man United has had about 10, 11 players in and out in the last 5 to 6 games. You understand? So because he won, because we found a win, a W
against Brentford,
in the last game with him against him. I don't blame him, Sha. You understand? I'm very angry, but that's an internal issue. In a very general, setting here. So I just. But like all that said, all that said, I still give him my respect in the angle, considering the fact that he has been very professional, considering the fact that the captaincy band was taken off him and he was not mourning in the public space. He has stayed professional. He has been training. Anytime he has been called upon, he has been playing compared to Sancho. But all in all, he's still a momo. He's fooling himself. And I don't blame him. I blame those guys at the top level at Man United. And now they've given Jim Ratcliffe mantle. They didn't give Sheikh, what's it called? The Saudi guy. That's another topic. So I'll just use the mic for now. Akin wants to say something here.
Okay, as regards the Sancho issue, you raised the point with Arteta and Aubameyang, and obviously two wrongs don't make it right. But with Arteta and Aubameyang, there was no one time Arteta came out to publicly lash out at Aubameyang, and that is where Ten Hag got it wrong. You to come out and throw your player under the bus, trust me, it is no
Well, true.
warranted.
I had an issue. I had an
it
issue
kills
with
the
that as well.
confidence.
I had an issue. Yep.
Aki,
And
sorry, Aki, apologies for cutting you short here. I want to cut in here because this is something that is a little bit passionate, a little bit personal to me. He's mentioned something that I'm a staunch Man United fan. You understand? So this is it. Chimamaka, you said something earlier about this indiscipline being peculiar to Man United. I disagree a little bit. It's a general thing. We live in an era where footballers, I wouldn't say still a living, but they earn. These guys earn a
Huge
lot.
amount of money.
You are a professional. You need to have a thick skin. And the way the media reported Eric Ten Hag's criticism of Jadon Sancho was totally out of context. You understand? He said it in a way that was not really attacking the player. And 2 or 3 weeks after Eric Ten Hag's comment about Sancho in the media, Pep Guardiola said something about Matheus Cunha and one other player in his squad. Very similar.
He called Calvin Phillips.
If I would get it, he called Calvin Phillips out. Matheus Cunha is a new signing.
And he said he's not intelligent or something.
You understand?
Like
and these guys, exactly, look at the terminology. And these guys did not make a big deal about it. We've not heard anything about it. At the end of the day, it's about our mind. See, I agree with you to a very large extent, Chimamaka. It's the way Man United is being run. You cannot, in a proper system. Have you heard Matheus Cunha or Calvin Phillips come out with that comment? Klopp, in the last 3 or 5 years, has come out to criticize one or two of his players in public. Not every criticism, you understand, but construct. As in, he has had 1 or 2 things to say about his players. And if you listen to what, if you go back to what Ten Hag said about Sancho, it was not. I wouldn't categorize it under criticism. Honestly, it's about his psychology. I think it was a way to psychologically pull him out of that space of underperforming. You understand? But I'm at a time where when Ronaldo was at Man U, his second coming, he said something about how the new generation of young players at Man United are not mentally fit to play for the club. And I think he was talking about 1 or 2 players, and Greenwood was one of them. They were not ready to accept criticism. He didn't say much. Sancho is just one of those sports guys that Ed Woodward brought in. In recruitment, you understand, we call it PURE, previously undetected recruitment error. You understand? You bring in these guys. This is somebody that is on £350,000 per week. If the manager comes out in the media to say 1 or 2 things about you, you should take it at the chin and then find a way to fix it.
Well, Martins, I kind of like agree with you on that issue, because I stated it even in our last episode and other platforms where I've been invited to talk about football. If that game between Arsenal and Manchester United has ended in a draw or ended in Manchester United picking 3 points, and Eric Ten Hag was asked that question and he gave the same answer, we would not have heard anything about it. I think because
because of the loss.
Emotion was there. Yes, I know emotions was high. The pressure as well, because Manchester United were I think they've lost games, so they needed to pick up points. And truly, if Manchester United had picked the point or won that game, the media wouldn't have blown that out of proportion. I just felt the media too had a hand in it, blowing it out of proportion. And I'm not holding any brief for Sancho for going to social media. If your manager talks XYZ about you, you could walk up into his office and you guys slug it out. A certain what's his name, Maitland-Niles, went on Instagram to say, "Release me, I'm in prison." I don't know if you guys remember. And ever since then, Maitland-Niles never wore any Arsenal. He never wore any jersey for Arsenal again. I think Arteta just froze him out and sold him away and took him out on the loan. I don't know if I can still have something to say on this Manchester United issues.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I still do. I still do. And obviously, the media had like a part to play in blowing out of like
Yeah.
proportion. But then, um, it still boils down to dealing with issues internally, and I think that is one thing. Pep Arteta club. The first of all, the whole space in at United is quite toxic. There are issues as regards the sale of the club. So the whole space, it's like chaos right now. And obviously, as a wise manager, you don't want to pour like gasoline on the fire and
Exactly.
you don't give the media
Yeah, fair
give
enough,
the
fair
media
enough.
something to,
Yeah.
because the English media, trust me, from the littlest detail they have, they can blow it out of proportion.
Yeah.
And that's what Ten Hag just did.
Yeah.
And obviously, Jadon Sancho was very, very, very wrong to come out and release his own statement and stuff. But then, like genuinely, and this is coming from a place of hate, like genuine hate. I hope they don't resolve the issues. I hope the
Take
both
it
of
easy,
them,
bro.
like,
Take it
I hope,
easy, man.
He's leaving. Don't worry, guys. You are
but
leaving him
like,
out
but
in
like,
January. He's
but
leaving.
like, but like,
He
yeah,
termed it
he's
genuine hate.
obviously going to leave. But
Yeah.
what Ten Hag has done is he has opened up that space for someone else to come and then like where will you end? Will other players keep on doing what Sancho has done, and then will you keep coming to the public to say, oh no, this player is
That's
bad, this
another
player is
angle.
this player is that?
Mm.
It just gets to,
Yeah.
it keeps on
Yeah.
going and it keeps on going and it keeps on going. So I think Ten Hag, first of all, I don't like him as a manager. I think he has to take his stand up. And Sancho raised the, and I think that's something in the media about Anthony keeps like getting like games over and over again.
That was somebody pushed. That was the story being pushed. Actually, we didn't.
Yeah, that was the story being pushed and that. But then I think Ten Hag just has to stand his ground internally. We don't need to know what's going on. He has to stand it internally. We just need to be seeing results that, oh, this player is not playing anymore. What's the reason? Nobody knows. It's just like the way the Alba, like everybody just found that Alba wasn't playing anymore. First game, second game, third game. They would ask Arteta, he would tell them he doesn't want to comment. That's a white manager. He knew there were issues in the club and he did not want to focus on the fire. He didn't want to give him anything to talk about until he came out in the public. And then by the time he was already in the public, they had dealt with it like fantastically inside the club. And that's what Ten Hag is lacking. On the part of Maguire, and his statement coming to say is no, I really just think he should go. He should leave the club
He has to leave.
because it's now becoming, and these are the things that push United down to relegation more and more and more. First of all, their footballing is bad. Second, you're having a lot of like management issues and stuff. I really hope you guys do because it's lonely at the top.
Quick one, Martins. What? Quick one, Martins. Can you just address the Qatar's Sheikh Jassim? Is it Jassim or Yassim? Withdrawing from Jassim. Process of selling the club. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Where does this leave Manchester United? Because we heard Jamie Ratcliffe, or is it Ratcliffe? Is that his name? Getting Jim Ratcliffe getting 25% ownership of Manchester United from the Glazers. Just a minute to prep us on this. Where does this leave Manchester United?
Okay. I hate to say this in front of Akin and Chimamaka, but it leaves Man United in shambles because, to be honest, Sheikh Jassim, his offer was the best. It was the last hope for every Man United fan around the world. This guy was coming with a whole load of money. Was going to clear off the existing debts in the club. He had plans to either renovate Old Trafford and the training ground at Carrington or build a new stadium and then invest a lot around the Manchester area. And this was not only about Man United. You understand? And then we have Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the British guy who a lot of British media guys were trying to push, coming with 25%. Now, his 25% will be funded by a loan he took, right? And then, with my little experience in accounting, that loan, the debt, will be creatively put in Manchester United's books.
Okay.
That adds to the existing loans, the debts that are in the club. So this is doom and gloom for Man United. The only hope the club had, I hope it is not, but in reality, that's what it is. The only hope the club had in response to City's Sheikh Mansour was for Yassim Al Thani to come in. You understand? Because that was the best deal ever. But those Glazers, they were never going to take that deal. I knew it from the outset. I was just hoping they would. They were never going to take that deal because Man United is a money-making machine for them. On the field, it is trash. Recently, I hate to say this, but it is the fact. But off the field, it has been making them money for over a decade. You understand? And that's why they brought the likes of Richard Arnold again, who is not a football lover. He's a cricket guy and then he's running Man United. How? He's a finance guy. He's making money. I always knew they were going to bring in Radcliffe. So as a Man United fan, I know for a fact that unless a miracle happens with Radcliffe, this is not a good deal for us, to be honest. You understand? Because this guy, this is more like a semi-leveraged takeover. He's taking a loan to buy a 25% stake in a club. And then the debt obligation of that loan will be creatively put into Manchester United's books, accounting books. More
Wow.
debts, more
Wow.
wahala.
For me,